Welcome back to Underground Nutrition After Hours. Today we talk about the nutritional philosophy of Bryan Johnson, not the Liver King, Zero on X.
The cooler one.
He wrote a book called Don't Die, and that's what we're trying to do today.
Just for today.
Just for today. We're not
Don't
dying.
kill myself.
I don't know about tomorrow. And seasonal depression with John and his cold feet.
Tune in.
My feet are freezing.
I can lunge all over the place.
Yes.
Isolate.
Welcome back to Underground Nutrition After Hours, Season 3, Episode 2.
Number 2.
I'm Scott with Underground Nutrition, and this is John and Justin of Paramount Gym. Say hi, guys.
Hello.
We're not your best friends this week?
Nah, nobody's my best friend this week. I have seasonal
He's
depression.
depressed.
Oh,
We'll
God.
get into that. Apparently, Rock Bottom has a basement.
You've been thinking about that, Joe?
No, I
Did you write that down on the way here?
no, I remember. I think I heard it on like a
Rock
TV
Bottom
show.
has a basement.
Yeah.
No, it's a sleepy time of year.
It is a sleepy time of year.
You know, I want to drink coffee and stay in bed.
Yeah,
Eat Zin.
love Zen. Zen's probably one of the best things you brought into my life.
Yeah, you're welcome. I know it's changed a lot of people's lives.
I ain't gonna lie.
Today we have a banger episode. Ooh. We were supposed to have a guest, but he bailed on us same day.
Same day bail.
Same
Class
day bail.
act.
Classy.
At least his excuse was kind of cute, though.
He came up with the only excuse you could have come up with.
Right.
You know.
Got to help my folks.
Yeah, and I get it.
No doubt.
What am I going to do? Argue with you?
Yeah.
So last minute, gun to my head, we had to come up with a show today.
I think we did good.
Yeah. So everybody has a podcast now, so
Right.
you know, it just gets shouted into the void. That's what we should call. We should rename this called
Everybody has a podcast.
Everybody has a podcast.
Yeah.
I get it. It makes
I'm
me.
with it. I think that would be.
It makes me want to quit. It makes me want to be.
That's what makes you want to quit.
It makes me not want to do it anymore. I want like people be like, "What's your podcast name?" And I'm like, "Oh, I don't have one." They're like, "What?
Yeah.
What do you mean you don't have a podcast?" It's like saying you don't have an Instagram these days.
It is.
So
Ours is highly sophisticated, though, in comparison.
Well, I think we've built something nice.
Yeah.
It's not crazy, but whenever I'm feeling down on myself, I look around at some of the other ones, and I'm like, oh,
We're doing all right.
we're doing all right.
yeah, we're hovering in a good spot. I enjoy it. I wouldn't do it if I didn't like doing it, and I do like the sound of my own voice.
You do. You are a narcissist.
But now that I have to edit it,
Yeah, you don't like it as much.
I don't like it as much.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, I like to hang out with you.
You know what's
guys.
annoying is that I'll talk about some of the stuff like pre-show with some of the people in my life that I'm close to, like run stuff by them, and then if I'm with them and they hear the podcast, like we're just like they just hear me repeat. I'm trying to act like it's the first time I've said it here, but I've actually said it before. That makes me cringe a little
Yeah,
bit.
it's kind of sus.
Bryan Johnson.
Bryan Johnson.
Boom.
Bryan Johnson, not
There's 2 of them, right?
not Bryan Johnson, the Liver King, but Bryan Johnson Zero on Twitter.
That's his ex name?
That's his ex name, Zero. Now, he came across my face within the last year, I think, as just a memeable fitness kind of guru with some kind of like plan to sell me, some kind of like kitschy sort of bullshit. So I never paid him much mind outside of the memes. However, he's been making his presence a little bit more known, and he appeared on a podcast that I like. It's one of 2 podcasts that I listen to actually like religiously.
And it wasn't ours.
It was not ours. This is one's called Red Scare. If you know it, you know it. If you don't, whatever.
Get
check,
to know it.
Check it out. It's 2 girls, which is surprising. Anyone who knows me would probably find that surprising. But it's 2 girls, and they have some guests. It's a variety show, political, but they have social media figures and political figures, and it's a cerebral show. And they had him on, and I found it to be very interesting, right?
Mm-hmm. say the least.
So his entire philosophy is a fitness program. We'll call it fitness, lifestyle fitness.
General health.
General health philosophy is centered around 2 words: don't die.
Live longer.
He has a book. It's for free on YouTube. I started to listen to some of it. And he is a fascinating creature with a fascinating philosophy. And I initially dismissed it as absolutely ridiculous. And then upon reading about it a little more and listening to some of his own content, I found it to be interesting to say the least.
Mm-hmm.
What's his philosophy?
Don't die. So his
You don't have an elaboration?
yeah, I do.
Because I would imagine that that's pretty much, I mean, every human being has that self-preservation mechanism in them. So I feel like that's deep down every human being's philosophy.
Yeah, but when you really, I thought about this a lot. And philosophically speaking, if you go back to the greatest philosophers and the origins of thought structure and modes of being, is that the fear of death is always sort of like you're a pussy.
Yeah.
Like dying is part of the game, you know? And I think like the Greeks were like, the idea of immortality was really just living a life that's worth talking about after you're dead, and that death is an inevitability and you should strive to die well.
Yeah, there's some sort of honor in death.
Right. And this kind of spits in the face of that, which immediately makes me think it's a little bit feminine and weird, but and fear-based. But after listening to him talk, because the question was posed to him, who wants to live forever? Right? Like, do you really want to live forever? And he said that the human mind can't really comprehend forever. So the better question is, do you want to live tomorrow? Right? And then you add that up. If you ask that same question to somebody tomorrow, and his entire philosophy,
It's like a just for today philosophy.
Just for
but Just
today.
for tomorrow.
just for tomorrow.
Okay.
Exactly. And his entire philosophy is to reverse the gravity of aging and to eat and behave and use all the scientific technologies available to us right now to stave off death and to essentially, biologically, be much younger than you actually are in years.
Right.
So that's the premise. That's the whole premise of his philosophy. Is a lot deeper than that. I watched a day, like how he starts his days, like his morning ritual. He takes hundreds of supplements.
I think it's something like 120 supplements.
61 pills a day.
Yeah.
Yeah, more than that.
Oh, no, I think that's just
it
I think that's
varies.
just the morning.
Oh, the
Yeah, that might be just his morning.
I think the
61.
morning
I think
regimen
it's
is
over
60 pills.
over 100 throughout the day. He eats only 2,000 calories or 2,500 calories.
He's
so
vegan.
1900.
Yeah, which is interesting too, because another part of his philosophy is don't die and don't kill. You know, and ethical vegans are the only vegans that I really
Can tolerate.
respect. Like, I get it.
Yeah.
I understand not wanting to kill animals. I like animals.
Yeah.
I get it. Like, but I'm not a vegan, so and I don't think I ever could be. But everything that he eats and everything that he does in the course of a 24-hour period is with the sole intention of staving off death and pushing back what we think of as possible for lifespan. And he considers himself like when the future, 200, 300 years from now, he thinks that the people in the future will look back at him as the person who's laid the foundation for lifespan increasing. I mean, just think about if the upward lifespan that we know of today is about 120 years. You're not going much past that, right? If you can get
that's
that,
the peak.
that's the peak.
That's
Yeah.
like Guinness Book World Record.
That's the
I think
extremity.
the average lifespan of a male is like 75 years old.
Right. Now, what if you were to be able to, what if it was 200 years old? Think about, the amount of lifetimes you could live and how many, shallow narcissists would jump at the opportunity to never have to visit the grave,
Right.
And I found it super interesting. Everything he treats every organ separately. He gets metrics and blood work done
Weekly.
weekly for everything from his hair to his dick. He's doing measurements. It seems like a very
He's measuring his penis.
the amount of erections. The amount of nighttime erections is calculated in his
Sleep.
quest for anti-aging,
Wow.
and it's very interesting. I will say that.
So his sleep analytics show how many erections he's had in the middle of the night.
Yes, so he started to measure this, and he said that he found this out by accident. He was using something that we all know is the muscle stimulator, and he was trying to strengthen his pelvic floor. And as a result of using that muscle stimulator that contracts the pelvic floor, that he started to increase, I guess, blood flow into that area, and that it's worked as like a erectile dysfunction
Remedy.
Yeah.
Sure.
And so he started to include that in his metrics. I mean, that's just one.
Yeah,
From the color of his hair to the color of his skin, he's very vampiric looking.
Yeah, he does look like a vampire.
He looks like exactly what you would think of as a droid, a vampire droid from the future. You know.
And how old is he?
He's 47 years old.
Okay.
He doesn't look like he's not 47 years old.
I was going to say, he looks every bit of it.
Yeah, but I don't think that matters to him as much as the biomarkers, because by all metrics, he's in like the top 10% of 18-year-olds for most of his, if I read that right. But it's interesting because we, in the fitness community, we approach things from a goal orientation, where it's like in bodybuilding, it's about looking your best
The
on a
next
certain
show.
day.
Yeah.
Or powerlifting, it's about being stronger than you were the year before. CrossFit, it's about whatever, faster, stronger, whatever CrossFit's thing is. This is the first time I've heard of the goal being not to die.
Yeah.
Which is a fun goal.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm playing that every day. So, I think he's worth mentioning, and I think that there is a potential with everything that we know about technology and artificial intelligence that he might be laying the foundation of something pretty big. I mean, he's a multi-millionaire. He's close to a billionaire.
The blueprint.
The blueprint, yeah.
Which affords him the ability to do the things that he's doing.
I think I think he was a co-founder or founder of Venmo.
No, not Venmo. It was some kind of processing.
Some
thing,
sort of
no.
something. He was a millionaire before this. He's had many companies, many startups.
And he sold it to, forget.
Yeah,
forget,
but he
sold his
he was like
company.
a tech startup
Yeah.
kind of guy. He's had
800 million, I think he sold it for.
right. He's been embroiled in some controversy because apparently he left his girlfriend who had cancer, and she was suing him for $8 million or $800 million, some shit like that. And he was involved in a lawsuit, and he ultimately won. And she had to pay him $500,000 for legal fees.
Nice.
So people have been really, really coming at him hard because they don't like him for some reason. He is clearly autistic. When you hear him in the interviews, he's got pregnant pauses. He considers what your questions are with that awkward pause where he really thinks about what he's saying.
It's like John.
Like, yeah, but John's just trying not to get canceled. He's not,
I'm trying not to sound like an idiot first and not get canceled second.
Yeah, so when he's on a podcast, he really takes his time and answers directly. He is immune to criticism. I've seen people roasting him on Twitter. It doesn't look like he blocks them. He often engages with them. He seems hyper self-aware and knows that he's a meme and kind of leans into it. Because if you're smart, you know that no publicity is bad. All
Any
publicity
is good
publicity.
There we go.
I don't know why I tongue-tied.
That was a tough one for you.
My tongue is 47 years old.
I got to see this anti-aging guy.
Yeah, everything from his oral health. So I thought it was interesting. I think it's definitely worth talking about in terms of the future of like the health and fitness community. So I'll turn it over to you, John. What do you think?
What do I think? I think it's exactly what you just said. His affluency is what affords him to live the lifestyle that he lives. He has, I don't know. I think he's the little bit of research that I did today kind of sounds like an idiot. I mean, it's just, we used kind of the Liver King when we were talking before, and then earlier in this episode is like a antithesis or and it's just, I don't know. From what I read, a great deal of doctors have come out and said that there is way too much genetic emphasis for him to have any substantial control over these things.
Well, I think that's why he reposted that article of all the doctors, and I feel very strongly about the type of doctors that are going to waste their time on answering a Twitter guy. I always feel like that's astroturfed and set up on purpose. But he is doing experimental gene therapy, and I think that he's from the interviews that I've heard him talk, I don't think he's under any delusion that he's not going to die. But I think that he believes that he's laying the footwork for generations from now, being the person that founded this way of living, which is to me very sterile. If you watch his morning routine and his nighttime routine, it seems, if it is exactly the way they're portraying on YouTube, it doesn't leave much for art and life and
Quality of life.
Yeah.
Yeah. He goes to sleep at the same time every night.
And that's another thing that you might appreciate this, because you wear the whoop, correct?
The Whoop, yes.
The whoopee.
The Whoopie.
He may be the only person in the world
Maybe
to
they'll
achieve.
sponsor us.
He achieved 100% sleep rating for 1 month straight.
That's insane. I've never got 100% since I've had this thing on.
And he has 100% for 30 days straight.
Mm-hmm.
He says of all the metrics of everything, the most important thing of everything that he does, drugs, diet, it's sleep.
Training, it's sleep, yeah.
9 p.m. he's in bed, and between the hours of 5:30 and 6, he's
awake.
He's awake.
Yeah.
No alarm.
Mm-hmm.
And he says that is the most valuable of all the things that you can do to regulate health markers.
Yeah, I believe he fasts from like 1 p.m. till the next morning.
Yeah, 2,500 to 2,000 calories in a 6-hour window.
Yeah.
He likes to have 8 hours of digestion prior to sleep.
Sleep, yeah. A lot of people say you can't get that deep, slow wave sleep, REM sleep unless you have food.
Yeah.
You gotta fast for at least 2 to 3 hours.
Yeah.
Prior to sleep.
So you can live forever, but you got to be the boy in the bubble.
Yes. Yeah. For right now.
He said he parties though. He goes out.
He has a couple drinks. He's not against alcohol.
Yeah.
He doesn't drink much, but he'll drink a little bit.
Yeah, because people were asking him, just sign up. I mean, people were kind of saying what you were saying, John, like, oh, you just like a bubble boy, whatever, but he has a social life he was talking about.
Can you imagine his friends?
I mean, you're my friends. I'm not far from that.
Yes, kind of.
Do you think they pick on him like we pick on you?
I mean, look at his Twitter. He's getting picked on every day. And
He's
he
getting
does
pooped on.
not. He is as unbothered as the most out of pocket I've seen him get is when people were trying to drag him for the lawsuit and leaving his girlfriend who had cancer. And he came with fucking receipts.
Yeah.
He did a whole video. He won the case. I mean, he had money to spend. He does seem like kind of a prick. He seems like a computer. That's, and I think that kind of goes with his whole
Yeah, he seems
shtick.
like an American Psycho.
Yeah, he leans into that. He loves the Patrick Bateman memes. He loves it all. So, and then what was also pointed out on X was that Bryan Johnson, the Liver King, I think they're the same exact age and same name, same spelling,
Which is
and
so
they
weird.
live on the extremities of the health and fitness mega industry, whereas it looks like the Liver King's racing to die. Like he looks about 40 years older than he actually is, and doesn't seem to care. Just wants to be big and strong and live like the cavemen did, and YOLO.
But he preached health as well, correct? Isn't all the things that he was saying we're going to make you, maybe not make you live longer, but we're going to make you healthy? I mean, you did that with Alan for a while, eating like weird shit.
Yeah, I tried the liver out. It's disgusting. I couldn't do it.
You know, I mean, it's
I don't know what Liver King's shtick is outside of like the idea of like masculine primal get
Carnivore.
get jacked, live for today, do wild things. I don't know if he was trying to increase his life expectancy. I'm not
quality of life while he was here, I guess, maybe quality of health.
It looks like Liver King's was having a blast, but it also looks like that he could not wake up at any moment. You know, he looks like stroke ready.
But I mean, in regards to Liver King, it came to the surface that everything that he was telling you to do to be the way he was
bullshit.
Was really just a very expensive steroid protocol.
A very expensive steroid protocol.
And to boost his sales.
So yeah, because he's a marketing machine.
And they're both selling something.
Yeah.
I mean, so is
this guy's
Zero.
Yeah, he's got an olive oil.
He calls it snake oil.
Snake oil.
That's what I mean. He is very self-aware, you know, and it makes me kind of like him a little bit because at least it seems like at least he's laughing on the way to the bank. But I feel like he is sort of living. I mean, he talks about TRT. He says he takes 2 milligrams of testosterone a day,
14 mgs a week
with a patch.
Yeah,
I know girls that are taking more testosterone than that.
Yeah.
And
I think he's got a little growth in there too.
I definitely think he's taking some GH and some peptides.
Mm-hmm.
He has his whole protocol lined out. Like he doesn't shy away from it at
He's
all.
He's got a Reddit sub, you know.
Yeah.
Like people are like all about him. You know, and he lists his protocol in there. And John's right that he's afforded like this lifestyle that he's living because he's super rich, so he could probably do things a lot more than the regular old Joe could. But he wears blue light glasses.
Yep.
2 hours before he goes to sleep.
Reverse balding.
Yeah. He's the real deal in that sense of like I think he's a big grounder. And I don't think he's I didn't see grounding. But
No, I think he has indoor shoes and outdoor shoes.
Right, that's what I saw. Yeah. Morning ritual. What was his morning ritual again? You said you touched on.
Yeah, he has. I just run through it. He has his team, which I'm pretty sure is just like his girlfriend and his sons. I don't know. They put together his pill stacks for the week, and which in the morning it's like a tin, like a fucking 4-inch deep tin. He takes his supplements. He does his eye therapy because he has dry eye. He doesn't produce tears.
Mm-hmm.
And he puts what looks like a Hitachi vibrator on the corner of his nose, you know.
Shout out Hitachi.
Shout out Hitachi. And he basically fucking he basically clit smashes his nose until tears come out of his fucking eyes. And what he has like all these different lights, and then he preps his meals,
Vegan
which
food.
is just slop.
Yeah, sweet potato.
Fruits and vegetables.
He eats like 70 pounds of vegetables a month, which just seems to me like I feel like I would just be bloat.
I'd be a bloated mess. Zero digestion.
He lists his entire supplement protocol, like A through Z, and it's all stuff that I know of and use some of it myself. But it all makes sense on paper.
Mm-hmm.
And then he does his little workout. Then he eats his slop. And he has like a pudding slop that he eats, and then like a vegetable slop that he eats. That I couldn't fucking do that.
No, the vegan diet is tough.
It's rough, man.
I
don't care. Pea protein, dude.
Yeah, I'm all set.
Miss me with that.
Yeah, hour-long, high-intensity workouts.
He does high-intensity, full body. He has a little gym training facility at his place, and then he starts his day. I don't know what he does. He's obviously a CEO, so he's probably doing like whatever fucking CEOs do during the day.
You're a CEO.
Yeah, I know what I'm doing during the day. Not what he's doing, I'm sure.
Coming to the gym and fucking with
Hanging
John.
out with you guys, fucking what? And then his nighttime shit is basically the same. He does some stuff for like his hair. He takes all his measurements. He weighs himself every morning. He does his BMI. He does his water retention. Everything with him is data sets. Everything is like just sets of data. Every organ, everything.
A lot of analytics.
A lot of analytics. He runs his body like you would run a company.
Yeah.
You know?
It's kind of cool, man.
It is. That's what I
think
mean.
it's kind of cool.
I went into this thinking that I didn't like him very much, just based on his presence on X. And then I listened to him talk, and he's very methodical, and he doesn't give a shit like what you think about it. The Red Scare girls who had him on the podcast were asking him tough questions because they're like, you know, they don't live, they smoke cigarettes and don't live that way, and think it's weird that somebody would not want to kill themselves, you know. And he handled it all very well. I think he's pretty much just resigned to doing this and walking a different path, which, by the way, in the fitness world, it's very rare that something unique, as unique as his particular product comes along. Like everything is just a copy of a copy of a copy, whether it's a strength program or a bodybuilding coach. It's all like, this seems like it stems from just the data, just the science.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's certainly interesting. I definitely think it'll change the way people approach health and nutrition in the future.
Yeah, there's a New York Times article written on him, and a lot of doctors, like John were saying, I think either you or John said, like they were refuting him, just like it's just like there's no way he could sustain this, or the so-called health and wellness of this diet or lifestyle is not that. It's not healthy.
Yeah, but I love when they do that, because I hate everything that they have to say about everything.
They're the ones that told us to wear masks. And
whenever the doctors get together in a group and start telling me how to think,
right.
I'm like, whatever, dude.
But when you say it's like, when you're talking about like a copy of a copy of a copy, I mean, just kind of like take a few steps back and look at it a little bit, less detailed. And the way I see it anyway, he's just another guy who is able to increase his lifespan because of the exorbitant amount of money he has. And I mean, obviously the methods are different, but that's not new. I mean, look at Magic Johnson.
No, I see what you're saying, that he is afforded, but
he has access to things that nobody. You better live longer than me if you.
But look what Magic Johnson produced. Like now, when was the last time you heard someone dying of AIDS? Like maybe Magic Johnson was the first one.
Yeah.
Well, that stuff, Magic Johnson probably had access in the 80s to the things that people are just getting now.
Well, I don't think it's just getting now.
I don't think he
but
had anything to do
I
with
think
the
after
actual...
him, after Magic Johnson, like the death total of AIDS just like went like
without a cure.
Right. People were able to live with it, when back in like the 80s, like people were dying from the virus left and right.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I think that's a big part of what he's saying is that we're on this technological wave, and that we don't know what 50 years from now looks like. We're living in a very exciting time, especially with the emergence of what we're calling AI, that the science, the technology behind human biology is increasing. Like what we know is increasing exponential, and we don't know anything. As another thing I like about what he said is that the idea that he doesn't know anything. Is that he goes through life thinking like because we don't. We're not capable of knowing anything really, and that this is all just like trial and error, and that he believes that he's laying a foundation for people in the future.
Yeah. So the question is, John, if you had this guy's money, would you live like this guy, or would you be shoving donuts down your face?
No, because I put more emphasis
on quality
and this
of life.
isn't even a joke. Yeah, I put way more emphasis on quality of life. I would say that I'm way more, and this is going to sound hysterical, but I would say that I'm way more aligned with Liver King, which is insane because I'm not, but then I am,
this guy.
Just the amount of attention that he puts. I don't have that attention span, and B, if I did, if I had his money, and again, he might have already done the things that I would do, but I'd be traveling. I'd be enjoying the time that I have here rather than
steakhouses.
rather than spending, 2 hours a day monitoring the fluids in my body.
Yeah.
Well, I think he went through, from what I understand, again, I did like a crash course. I think he went through a severe depression, and he was overweight, and he didn't like his life very much. He felt bad about himself. He felt physically sick. He was having some health problems, and then he flipped a switch one day, and that's what essentially led to the blueprint. And he has a very, he's autistic, so whatever he's latched onto is what he's latched onto.
Sounds like you, man. You're like right in the beginning of it. You're depressed, overweight.
I'm about
miserable.
I'm about to start the blueprint.
You're gonna start the blueprint soon. Turn your life
So
around.
how does his whole
But I've done it before. I've done that before. Like I'll go through phases in my life where I just
you
flip
do.
a switch,
and you just
and then
turned-
I'm like, I'm going to be a powerlifter, and then I become a
and then you
powerlifter.
flip the switch the other way?
And then I'm like, I'm going to be fat and lazy, and then I nail that every time. But then I'm like, I'll be a
That's not true.
bodybuilder.
last couple of years you nailed it. Before that you were
I fluctuated even when I was bodybuilding. I would go through periods of like extremely into it to I would rather play chess. Like I'm a spur just like anybody else. I just it depends on what can keep my attention and gives me that serotonin dopamine drip.
yeah.
Right now it's Elden Ring and sleeping late.
Elden Ring, sleeping late, and chess.
Yeah.
I went to Jersey Shore Fitness Shop the other day, and the amount of nostalgia that overcame
Yeah,
my
the
mind and
heyday.
body was insane.
That was the heyday.
Insane.
John taking selfies in the gym pics.
Both of you guys.
Yeah, we were fucking doing it. I don't know.
Shorts down past your knees.
No,
Definitely.
never.
Long shorts.
That's Mike Waters with the basketball shorts.
I don't think Scott wore shorts.
No?
I was a
He was like the breakaway.
Oh, yeah, the breakaway. Yeah.
Scott was
That's all I could
Scott was
afford.
like coming out of the tunnel at Madison Square Garden
It's whatever they had at the halfway house
with the breakaway pants.
I was wearing like Adidas tracksuits.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was I saying? The thing with me with the whole thing is that from a philosophical point of view, I think it's flawed. I don't like the idea of living forever or being afraid of dying or trying to necessarily increase your lifespan. I tend to agree with you. However, I think that you're talking more about driving McLarens and eating steaks and the more of the hedonistic philosophy.
Not well, that too, but also the emotional fulfillment, that art, that kind of stuff.
I
Learning.
think his philosophy leaves a lot of that out. I think it doesn't leave much room for art or religion or high places. I think human beings and even worse, artificial intelligence as like the new gods, which may be the course of evolution. I don't know. But I do want to live tomorrow. I think. I think if you asked me tomorrow, I'd probably say yes again. I don't know when the day would come when I'd be like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah.
So I think that I think especially with the octogenarian political elite, if this takes if this takes hold, where like drinking your son's blood or whatever he was doing, or like rubbing babies' foreskins on your skin, it turns out this shit works or whatever the fuck. I think that people are going to pay big bucks, to have it streamlined and not be so hard to do.
Mm-hmm.
And you're gonna get your nutrition and your supplements like fucking administered to you in some fucking goo bag,
Right.
and you're gonna be in your cryogenic chamber,
Just like
your red light cryogenic chamber for fucking 60 days. You come out and you're 15 years
new man,
younger, feeding off of the pores.
So it's it's quality of life too. Like if I want to live forever, I've said that before. I'd like to live till I'm 150. But it's quality of life is if I'm 100 years old and I'm have an oxygen tank walking around with me, like that's
Suffering.
not living, right? That's not what I want to do.
No.
So if this guy is trying to lay the groundwork to live longer, healthier, and be physically active,
Right.
like
But the longer he lives, the more time and attention is going to have to go into continuing to live this way.
Well, yeah, because you know, like genetically, I mean, the cell death is a real thing, and like I said, I don't think he has any delusions of living much longer than the average human. I think for him, it's just about showing that his biomarkers and his physical body appears to be, if you were to run it through a computer or an AI, it would guess a much younger age. I think for him, that's the goal.
He just wants to show that it's possible.
That it's possible.
And he has had this effect on his body in this short time.
And he's reversed a lot of signs of aging significantly, to the point where many of his organs and you know, his hair and his oral health and lungs and heart are all appear to be that of like the upper 10% of 18-year-olds.
Yeah.
Which is wild. Which
That's
is
sick.
It's really cool. It's not a lifestyle that I think I could enjoy very much, but I mean, if you're autistic enough and that's what he's finding pleasure in doing, and he's making a ton of money doing it, whatever. I think it's more sustainable than the Liver King, you know, lying about what drugs you're taking and eating bull's testicles, you know,
And saying that's why you
Yeah,
are
that's why
4% body fat.
Yeah,
I don't know.
have
What
a
would you
12-pack.
what would you rather do? Would you rather eat raw liver and bull testicles, or would you rather have some sweet potatoes
vegan
and broccoli?
Oh, man, I
If you had to eat those big, they look like kidneys.
yeah, yeah.
If you had to eat one of those every day, or
Sweet potatoes and spinach,
sweet potatoes and spinach, and like
some
some
hot sauce on it. I
some
would love
pea protein goop that he calls a dessert.
it. I think I would probably, choose the vegan.
Yeah, I don't know. That'd be tough.
I can't.
I
love meat.
You throw the 61 pills in there with breakfast, and you would have a serious argument as to for the bull testicles.
Yeah,
It's a lot of pills.
But those bull testicles are fucking nasty, dude.
I've never had testicles. I've had heart. I've had liver,
Yeah.
and that's it. And they were disgusting.
Yeah, liver is fucking. I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah,
shit is
anybody who says liver is
inedible.
good,
Even
is-
when you
they're
mix it up and
liars.
when you get it chopped up in ground beef, it still makes it taste like your beef tastes like blood.
Yeah, it tastes like copper.
It tastes like you cut your finger. It tastes like you're eating a fucking penny.
Yeah,
Yum.
yeah, that's not cool. Alan's a liar.
He is a fucking
He's a
liar, and I
liar.
don't think he's still eating liver, by the way. So yeah, I don't know. I thought that was an interesting topic. I think it's I can't really wrap my mind around the philosophy of living forever, or even wanting to imagine lifespans were increased to 200 years, where middle age is 100. Like, what kind of effect? You don't even know what the world would look like.
It'd be nuts.
It would be unrecognizable.
It'd be super overpopulated. That's for sure.
Well, yeah. So, and then the AI is going to have to intervene. We're going to have fucking Terminator 2 walking around.
Yeah, there would be a lot
killing
more
poor
wars.
people.
There'd be a lot more wars.
So that's how the Matrix
more-
gets started. You're going to end up
yeah.
just being battery packs.
a lot more COVID scenes and
Yeah.
shit like that.
Yeah.
Climate change, tidal waves.
That's what I think that this is going to appeal to, though. Like the political elite, the billionaires who are like, like the Rothschilds and the.
If they're not already doing this,
If
kind
they're
of
not
stuff.
already doing this, like, what's his name? Who's the big one? Soros. Like,
Soros,
how's that
yeah.
dude
George
still moving
Soros.
around, bro?
Yeah. Yeah.
How's that guy still?
I don't know. He's probably in Antarctica.
One of the many pyramid
Yeah,
bases.
exactly. Right. With aliens that were in Miami. So
It's
it's a cool topic though.
Yeah, I thought it was super interesting.
I had fun looking it up today.
Yeah,
I really
I'm-
did.
I'm gonna keep on his audiobook.
I'm gonna follow him.
I followed him on X.
Yeah.
It's really funny because it's people who are just gun on him in the comments, and he's right there with it. And he's got some fire merch that I'm gonna rip off.
So he has kind of
Seriously,
No doubt.
he has adopted his own theory, correct? Called, zeroism or whatever it already is a thing.
Yeah,
But he's kind of translated that into his, and that's what I didn't understand, because the whole concept of a zeroth or zeroism is really just that a negative erases a positive, isn't it?
I don't know. I
like
thought
mathematically.
I looked at it like year zero or like patient zero. That's how I thought it. I didn't look into that. I saw like the blueprint. I
Well,
wasn't
when you
sure
Google it, the actual zeroism,
it's like a
the-
philosophy, right?
just it's I guess a mathematical, I don't know, and that's what was coming up. Just that, when you involve zero in an equation, the answer is zero, and
Yeah, nobody's ever been able to adequately explain that to me. How if you multiply something by zero, how you get zero. I already had three things, right? 3 times 0. I have 3 things. I multiply by 0. I still have the 3 things, don't I?
Yeah.
Well, no, because
Seems
you
like
multiple. I don't know.
That's what I think.
But I mean, if you take if you look at it from like the whole a negative erases a positive, and that's your life and your. But it sounds like not like okay, I had a bunch of drinks, so that's the negative, and I'm gonna do something positive to erase it. I think he's looking at the negatives almost like what already exists in the world or genetics, and what you're predisposed to.
Oh, I see what you mean.
I don't know, but that's why that's his name.
Oh,
Zero.
I didn't look into. I thought it was like patient 0, like
Maybe it's
ground 0.
Maybe it's.
He's a weirdo.
I'm so cold.
Are you? He's a weirdo.
Maybe that's.
He might have a. Who knows?
I got that winter insulation.
Oh,
I'm feeling
yeah.
pretty
I don't.
pretty toasty right now, actually.
He's He also has a tattoo on him of the God molecule, the MEO-DMT.
Yeah, DMT, the God
DMT.
molecule.
Yeah.
So you think he's getting wild with the psychedelics?
I don't know. I want to do. I want
Have
to.
you
we
ever-
gonna-
No,
I've taken DMT. I'm not doing it again.
John
I
has
smoked it.
I'll do it.
John has a love affair with
I will
DMT.
cancel the show if the two of you. The only
I'm
way
not.
that I will co-sign DMT usage is if it's in front of that fucking camera, and I get to watch you two melt into oblivion, and then say that you're clean. tell me that how clean you are.
But
Right.
you have to. I'll do it if you babysit me.
It's you won't. You're not gonna be able to move out of the chair.
Yeah.
You're panic. You're gonna have a 10-minute panic attack going into it, a 5-minute panic attack during it, and a lifelong panic attack after it.
Yeah, you think that's.
Yeah.
John
For
has
sure.
a panic attack if he's 30
What?
seconds late to something. If he is going to take DMT, the gym's going to be shut down.
Like I get strapped into a chair? Like, is it like.
He's gonna open a dispensary.
Yeah. DMT dispensary.
No, dude, this shit's garbage.
No.
I don't know.
Is that the same as the ayahuasca or.
It's
No.
it's the drug that's in ayahuasca.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same shit. I think ayahuasca is like long acting.
Super
DMT is short acting.
Super spiritual way.
Put everything in steroid terms.
Yeah.
So you're not going to do DMT with me, Justin?
No, I'm going to pass on
You can
that.
count
man.
me out.
All right.
I'm gonna
Well, you already
He's
did
gonna
it.
take the Eucharist,
No.
and he's gonna.
Dude,
That's how. You,
that's my God molecule.
that's how you're
the
gonna
body
see
of Christ. So
So yeah, that's what I've been doing the last couple of days. I've been on the.
this guy seems like he's got like a chip in him.
He does. So he
like he's
seems
got
like
like
an android. I would love to see
he's
him,
got like a-
and like Elon talk.
Yeah.
It would be like
He's got
two
like a,
fucking
some
robots.
kind of chip in him, and it's not like a Dorito chip that John wants in him. It's a fucking like micro fucking computer chip. He
Yeah,
seems like
bro.
a fucking walking algorithm.
He has like alabaster skin. He's like very vampiric looking. Like he looks
He looks sick.
straight
He
out of
does look
interview.
like-
He looks sick.
He looks like a fucking sick person. Long hair. He looks like
He's got no bloat
looks like
to
a
him,
Columbine, like a Columbine kid.
Yeah, like the muscle that he has is like very. It's.
Lanky. I don't know.
I mean, I wouldn't. I mean,
It's not the ideal body type that I want.
no, but he again like every out like his if the data showed that the body fat percentage should be higher on a male, like let's say it's supposed to be 25, and that would increase life expectancy, or that's optimal for whatever he's trying to. That's what he would do.
Yeah.
You know, his body weight and the muscle, bone density, all that shit is all
Aligned.
everything is factored into his stupid little thing.
Yeah.
You know, 2 milligrams of testosterone a day though.
That's fucking what is
That's
that?
a waste.
But he says he only takes it to offset
Yeah.
the calorie deficit that
Right.
he's eating.
Right.
So
Because he's only eating 1,900 calories a day.
yeah. He said I've heard him say 2,500. I've
And
heard
I'm
him
sure
say
he's
2,000.
burning hella calories when his little hit workout, you know, and I don't know.
How are you not so hungry, man?
Bro,
I
I-
ate 15 minutes ago. I'm fucking
Bro,
starving.
in
right
the
now.
middle of my meal, I'm thinking about my next meal.
I felt like this would kind of appeal to you in a way. Like
It does.
you can build on this. You could be he's 0. You could be 1.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, it's
One of
super
his, like,
cool.
Alkalites or something.
It's super cool because like I'm always looking for. I text you every now and then. Oh, you ever hear of this supplement? Like I heard it's shit of the, you know. So I get it, you know. But he's like an extreme. If I had that type of money, would I live the way he lives? I mean, I don't know. Maybe I fucking, you know, I don't do anything. Like John wanted to set a little.
I'm going to be
type of
driving a
You'd be the
McLaren, and
next
Justin's going to be hooked up
He'd be
to
the
like
next Epstein.
ba-
He'd have an island, an
a nobody-
airplane,
He wouldn't let anybody on it.
Yeah, no, it would
PM.
just be barbells.
door.
Yeah. Loser.
So yeah, that's it. I think that's. I mean, I don't know. I feel like
I think it's a good thing to talk about wanting to live forever when you were just telling us that you want to like die from seasonal depression.
I forget. I like came up in a conversation and I just called it. Somebody said seasonal depression, and ever since then I'm like,
Now
oh,
what's your thing?
I'm seasonally depressed.
Yeah.
You know, I wake up in the morning. I'm like, oh, I have the worst depression.
It's cold, man.
I sleep with the windows open, and
That's good. It's deep sleep.
yeah, but it puts me to sleep, and then it keeps me asleep.
Yeah, you don't
'Cause
wanna get
there's
up.
nothing. I'm yelling at Alexa, shut the fuck up. Add 15 minutes to the timer.
Uh-huh.
You know,
What time's your alarm go off in the morning?
me?
Yeah.
It depends. I set it for when I'm feeling froggy, when I'm feeling like tomorrow's going to be the day where I get it together, I say 7:30.
Uh-huh.
But when I know that tomorrow's not the day, I set it for 8.
Right. And we're snoozing.
I got to be working at 10, so I have to leave the house by like 9:15 if I'm going to get that venti blonde roast that I love so much.
Right. Extra espresso shot.
I
like
was
John,
on the
or
phone.
no?
I was on the phone with Scott today when he pulled up to Starbucks drive-thru. The lady's like, "We don't have any coffee. The coffee machine's broken." And he's like, "What?" And she's like, "Yeah, we don't have hot coffee or iced coffee, so we don't have coffee." And Scott's like, "Can I have a chocolate Danish?"
Chocolate croissant.
Chocolate croissant.
Warm that up. And then she informed me that they do, in fact, have espresso. So I got a 5-shot espresso.
Oh,
Americano.
5-shot with a chocolate Danish or a chocolate croissant.
Chocolate croissant.
That's the breakfast of champions.
That's got me going today.
Yeah.
Got me going for
Clearly.
get back to my house, hang out with my cats, and play Elden Ring for a little bit.
You're locked in on Elden Ring, huh?
I've been playing this game for years. Like I'll come back to it. I think maybe 2 years. I played for like a couple months. I've never beaten it. It's so embarrassing, and I'm right there. I can see the end.
All right.
So
I'm
we got to
rooting
get
for
through
you.
this.
I'm rooting for you.
Thank you. Yeah. Such a dork nerd ass game too.
Yeah, it is.
I'm
but-
using spells.
Yeah.
I'm doing crap.
Is it like a role playing game, like an RPG
crafting.
game,
No,
like Zelda?
no.
No.
It's a I don't know what the fucking name is. It's not a role playing game though. It's like
Okay.
a combination of elements.
Okay.
It's like fighting and shit. Like
Oh, that's cool. It's used to fighting.
I'm killing monsters, dragons and shit.
Yeah, you know why you are
You
depressed.
got to kill the ones inside you first.
You are.
We'll get to there.
the
We'll get
monsters
there.
inside you.
After I beat Elden Ring, we'll work on the main boss.
Okay.
You know? So yeah, so a little. I did go skiing. I'm going to Vermont at the end of the month, so I'm looking forward. The reason why I haven't hung it up is because I'm looking forward to Vermont.
Right.
That's exciting, and the business is doing really well. So it seems silly for me to check out now.
That's good.
But I had a pretty good skiing trip. Conditions were ass in New Jersey. It's always ass in New Jersey, especially.
Jersey sucks. You should just
You went to Mountain Creek?
I went to Mountain Creek. Only 40% of the mountain was open. Nobody was there. But we got some skiing in. That was fun.
Vermont's gonna be dope. Somebody went in our gym.
I'm going with our good friend, our mutual friend, Jake.
Love Jake.
Jake's great. He's got a condo slope side.
Nice.
He said,
Slopes.
that's what he said.
Slope side.
Is that a
slope side.
term?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Like, you can ski out.
Like-
you can ski out your back
Like ocean
door.
view,
Like, you
slope
open
side.
your back door, put your skis on, go right to the
I
left.
miss the fitness shop days with Jake
Yeah.
after Scott retired from fitness shop
I moved on to
and
greener
went
pastures.
to like that weird one that closed in Ocean.
Oh, I was going. Yeah, because my life was a mess. Then I couldn't be
Yeah,
around
I know.
people.
Yeah, you
I had to
couldn't.
lift in
Yeah.
solitude.
I remember that
You know,
time.
can't shit where you eat. Lesson
Yeah,
learned.
I remember
Yeah.
that time.
You remember that?
I do.
Oh, so people are like, where do you go? I'm like, God,
Don't you worry about
you
it.
never heard of it.
Nobody knew where Scott lived or where he trained.
I went to that gym once on a Christmas morning with Ryan
People
Palazzo.
who know me for 5 or 6 years had no idea where I lived.
Right. I knew you like we were talking every day. Where you live. Don't you worry about it. Justin.
Were you writing a book?
Right. Fucking fed.
You fucking.
I was there.
Yeah, a handful of people. We're cool if you've been invited to my house.
Yeah, that's
I
true.
don't let just anybody at my fucking house. Yeah. You know? What do I look like? Just having people at your house. So wait, so you know my address? How's that going to play out? What do you need to know that for?
I'm stealing his in.
You know? Have a Zin.
But yeah, I enjoyed that was like right before COVID.
Oh, I want to tell you the story. So Jake says, listen, I got a condo. I guess the wife and kids, he has a newborn, so couldn't go. The kid can't go. I don't know, something. I got an extra room. First thing I want to know is like, who's going?
Yeah.
He's like, nobody. I'm like, nobody? He's like, the whole week, nobody. Maybe one of my friends. And I like the sound of that. So I don't want no new friends.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then we solidified a date. I'm going up there. And I said, who's going again? He's like, it was 5 people. Now it's like 28. I said, where? What, bro?
Are you still going?
Yeah, he said, I mean, they're all staying in like the same spot. And I'm like, who are they? How do you know 28 people?
Yeah, I don't even know 28
What the
people.
fuck are you talking about? But he assured me that I don't have to make new friends. So.
This is, I think, one of like his coworkers' condos.
I don't know what it is. I know that I'm fully prepared to be blindsided, when I get there.
He's a good snowboarder.
I'm a good skier.
I didn't say you weren't. I've skied with you.
I'm
I've
going to fucking hit a
snowboarded
Daffy.
I've snowboarded alongside of your skis,
I'm going to do Screaming Eagle.
the Screaming Eagle. But Jake is a good snowboarder.
I know. We used to call him Extreme Sports Jake. He had a parachute. He had a snowboard. He had a longboard.
We need a podcast episode. We probably have to get his permission
To
first,
see if
though.
we can tell
Where
some
you can just tell
Jake
Jake
stories.
stories.
I would have to talk to him first. There's a couple.
There were
I
some
don't think he would
great
want
ones.
told on the.
There's some great ones.
Yeah, the one where he spontaneously combusted in the living room, just left. It looked like
The toilet,
the
the broken
toilet. Yeah, I would have to talk to him first
And I don't think everybody else would be as entertained by the stories because they
don't know Jake.
He's like, Jake's like father of the year
Yeah,
now.
he's all
married,
grown
settled
up.
down.
Oh, he's
Yeah.
all grown up.
No
man.
excitement.
He's doing
No
great.
excitement from Jake aside from cutting his fingers off.
He cut his fingers off. I said, "What?" He said, "I got work today." I'm like, "Didn't you cut your fucking fingers off? Don't you have to never work again?" He's like, "Nah, I wouldn't do that to them." I was like, "Are you fucking crazy, bro?"
He's changed.
He's definitely Jake has changed a lot.
changed,
That's
man.
what they say when you have a kid. Maybe
Yeah.
that's our problem. None of us have kids,
It's true.
so
I saw him
let me
for
know.
his birthday.
Yeah, he didn't invite me. I was pretty upset, but he invited me to Vermont, so I'll take that.
Yeah, it's a good consolation prize.
Justin, you're not going to do the skiing or snowboard. You're done.
No, I mean, I don't think that's probably
you've
smart.
gone this far without it.
I mean,
Yeah,
I
you
don't think it
can't
would
with
be.
a bad
I don't
ACL.
think it would be smart with no ACL.
We might have to brace you up, or
You know,
Yeah, throw a little brace on. I don't know. You can't live your life not ever skiing or snowboarding.
I skied when I was super young.
Did you like it?
I remember I hated it every time it was
loved it.
canceled. I was so happy.
I love skiing.
But
Feel so
I
free.
feel like if I went and tried snowboarding, I would like it. I really do.
I like snowboarding a
I
lot.
really
I'm
think
just
I would like it.
I'm falling apart at the seams physically. So
Yeah, I don't know. I'm a decent skier. I like Vermont because you could take
Powder.
like 40 minutes of lifts to like the very very top, and then you could spend 3 hours
your way
traversing the
down.
mountain and
Yeah.
taking your time. I don't know. I'm too old for moguls and jumps and shit. So I just like to,
Hunter Mountain.
I like to go like what I think is really fast. But if you were like record me and look like I'm going like 6 or 7 miles.
we
an
were
hour.
cruising.
Yeah, we go.
You, me, and Adam.
Adam's
we
a good
we got
snowboarder
some.
too.
Yeah,
Adam's
I
a very
heard,
good
I heard
snowboarder.
Adam's really good.
Yeah. Well, that's any other subjects we can touch on? What else do we want to talk about?
I don't know.
Anything else in the news? Vivek dropped out.
Yeah, and
He did.
DeSantis dropped out this morning.
Vivek dropped out and endorsed Trump like in real time, which was like power move of the century. Like it's the only thing he could have done, I think,
Yeah.
because everybody on the super right were like, "Get this Indian guy off my screen right now."
Yeah.
They didn't want to hear shit from him. They thought he was a plant.
DeSantis dropped out today.
Well,
He's a toilet bowl.
I can't stand any of
So it's going to be.
It's gonna be.
It's gonna be
it
Trump
looks like
unless
it's gonna be
he,
Donald unless
you know.
he gets indicted
them. Well,
Well,
or
not-
assassinated.
or killed.
Yeah. I think it's, I mean, look,
Or COVID comes back.
it's just will go to show you, no matter what you think about like Trump, all that aside, forget about that. If you're part of the GOP and you're not endorsing what the people's will is, which is clearly Trump, like whether you think that those people are stupid or not, like whether you disagree or not, but if you're on the right and you aren't kowtowing to Trump because that's who's showing up, that's who's winning. He won the Iowa primary, right? Or
Yeah.
whatever the fuck it is.
Yep.
If you're not kowtowing to him right now and just like letting it be the way it should be, then you are an op.
You're not really GOP.
You are an op.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. I mean, the
you should
people,
be handled.
the people that love him, they love him.
You know.
He
And that's
is.
why I think Vivek did the only thing. But it was very calculated on his part. He's smart.
He's a smart dude.
He's a smart guy. He was really smart when
I wonder if he'll be
that
a
pharmaceutical scam he did to get rich to begin with. You know? Like had his mother like fake. This is like pharmaceutical studies or some shit.
Yeah.
And I don't think he'll get VP. Trump's not stupid. He'll get if it ever goes. It won't go that far, but Trump will throw him a little bone.
Yeah.
You know? Like maybe press secretary.
It's gonna be fun, man.
That'd be funny
to watch this. Watch people lose their minds from the two morons that we have to choose from.
I'm so excited for this cycle.
It's gonna be
so great.
It's gonna have some content for us to talk about. I think.
I can't wait. Can't wait for Nikki Haley to like reveal herself as an alien overlord, like peel her skin off on national television.
And they're just going with Biden, huh?
No, I mean, there's zero chance.
I don't think he's going to be able to physically do it.
Well, they're not.
They're holding off. That would be they can't announce that.
They're
They're going to
gonna
wait to the last.
They're going to wait until the last second.
Well, what's the last second?
The last like a couple days before before we vote. I don't know. I can't imagine it going much longer, but there's no way.
So they're just going to put up a candidate. There'll be no.
Yeah, they would have to. He would just choose not to run, and then they would have to
endorse someone.
Somebody. You know, I don't think it'll be
Kamala.
Kamala. I don't think it'll be Kamala. I don't know who it would be.
Who
Maybe
knows?
I mean, people said Newstead. I don't think he's ready, but he would be. He could be a problem.
Oh man, he's tough.
Maybe throw a RFK up
I would
there.
love RFK.
RFK versus Trump would be the the
Duel of the
UFC
century.
matchup.
Can
of
you
the
imagine
century.
having to listen to his voice?
Is Trump just going like making fun of his voice?
Right.
It would be the best debate of all time ever. It would be so amazing.
It's so sad.
Nothing ever happens though, so we're gonna get some bootleg version of what we should get. You guys watch the Strickland fight? Did you see it?
I heard there was some controversy.
Right. I mean, I watched the whole fight. I don't know how controversial it was.
Oh, I thought that's what I read on Twitter. I don't know.
I mean,
I don't
it was
watch
one
that
of those
shit.
fights that looked like it could go either way. Strickland it was like low key a boring fight.
Yeah, he lost though, right?
Strickland lost. Yeah. Dana White said it's not how he scored it. It's not how all the Twitter fans scored it either. But I like Strickland.
And this was in Canada. I heard.
Yeah,
I heard the Canadian reporters were retarded.
The Canadian reporters were very sad and upset about various things.
Yeah,
that
some of the things Strickland said.
Strickland said, and Dana White could care less.
Yeah,
just smoked him in the whole thing.
Yeah, he did. He crushed him with like, "Oh, do you put a leash on your
like
your
what
athletes?" He's like, "What do you mean? Leash?
Why
they say whatever they want?"
But at the same time, it's like they do it for it's like clicks and views, man. It's like they know they're gonna get the answer that's gonna get. So at the end of the day, you're the reporter that
asked the dumb question.
They got 2-minute clips and millions of people watched it, and you did your fucking job because like
it's true.
Nobody cares,
right?
Does anybody actually care what Strickland thinks about anything?
Yeah, the
I hope not.
LGBTQ.
I mean, he's funny.
Yeah,
I saw him crying on Theo Vaughn. Talking about his childhood.
Yeah,
that's cute.
That is nice.
He's tough.
He's human.
He throws some wicked punches.
Word.
I don't know how much credit I'm going to put into his political philosophy, but it's funny to listen to because people spaz out about it.
Yeah, they lose their mind. On Twitter, they were losing their minds.
People go crazy over that shit, and it's great because it gets you played. Like it gets your name out there.
Yeah,
makes your name worth it.
Yeah, that is what we should do.
Just start saying it.
I can't.
Mask off.
He said, "I can't."
I can't.
What would you say if you could?
I can't. No way. Hot mic.
Mics are hot.
Can I ask you? I'll ask you the question they asked him that got him in a lot of trouble. What would you do if you had a gay son?
I would love and accept him for what he is.
I believe that, though.
I really would.
I feel like that's the only answer.
It's the only answer. What are you going to do? Kick him out of the house?
Yeah, I don't know. Give him electroshock therapy?
Right. Like,
I'm going to find out who molested him.
You guys want to do the intro or the
outro? All right. Who's going to take us out, John?
John did it last time. You do it.
No, I don't do that shit.